Hi everyone, and happy Saturday. Day late on this, but get it out when I can get it out. My Pokemon video game video for the week. Or for the time. I can't say these are going to be weekly, but I can at least say I'll do them when I feel the need to do them, or when information actually comes out. And before I get to the actual video, it was recently announced that on Tuesday, about 8 p.m. Eastern time, which would be my time, 5 p.m. Western time or Pacific time. And then other times, Japan times, we'll be getting Sun and Moon information. So, good for that. But moving on to the actual story. Now, I've seen a couple videos on this, and I thought it was interesting talked about, because when I looked at the topic, gyms, I'm like, no, I can actually say a little bit on that. So, basically, it's what are the possible gyms we're going to get in Sun and Moon? Now, when I thought about this, I had to think about two things. One, the type of environment, there it is. What the hell? The type of environments that we're possibly going to... what the... freaking cowlick a little bit. There we go. Type of environment that the region is based off of. Supposedly Hawaii. So I had to think along those lines. But I also had to think of types that are commonly used against types that are not commonly used. So before I get into what I think we'll see in Sun and Moon, we have to look back a little bit at what we've already gotten. So... it's honestly been a long time since we've had a region, a game, a generation that's gyms were almost completely different from the previous generation. The only generation that was 100% different from the first was the second gen to the first gen. That was basically it. And it basically covered all of the, well, not all of them. Hold on. I think one of them got reused. Who was it? No, was there 18 types of that? No, there was 16. It was 16 types. And it was 17 at the time, and Dark was the only one that didn't get used. Dark is also the only one that has not been used. So, in terms of the one that has been used the least, it's Dark. We haven't had a Dark gym yet. There's been plenty of videos. People who have said it better than I have, why we don't have a Dark gym, why we would have a Dark gym, Sun and Moon. I will touch upon whether I think we'll get one in just a second. But the type that we've had the most of is the electric type, and 5 out of the 6 generations. I think I'm a little done with electric gyms for a little bit. We can substitute that type for something else. Apart from that, though, nothing else. The only other 2 that came in, actually there's 3 that came in second for 4 different gyms, was Rock, Fighting, and Ice. We've had those in 4 different out of the 6 generations. So other than that, though, it gets pretty spread out. 3 is fine, because it's 6 generations you're going to repeat sometimes. So apart from that, So now that I've gotten that out of the way, what gyms do I think are going to be in Sun and Moon? Well, based on Sun and Moon, you got to think of it in terms of what types haven't we gotten? The area, and there's a bug, the area in which this region is possibly based off of, Hawaii, and Sun and Moon, possibly whatever story that's going along with this game, which is going to be around the Sun and the Moon. So right off the bat, I think we're finally going to get a Dark type gym. 1, Sun and Moon, the Moon is with the night, darkness, all that. 2, we haven't gotten one. And 3, I think it's just time we did. So I think it's not that hard of a type combination to deal with when you think about it. You just design the game to get either a fairy fighting, or what was another one that was good against Dark? A bug, I think, is good against Dark. I can't recall what else is good against Dark. But just get something if you want like an edge in the early game. Just make sure it's just like one Pokemon, though. Kind of like with in X and Y, when you go fight the Bug Gym. If you didn't choose Fennekin, your only hope for having a clear-cut advantage over the gym leader is either having a Flying type, which there are a couple between there and the city of Santolin, I think it was, or getting a Litleo in the next route over. So that was really your only bet for beating her. And even then, she had a Surskit, which is a water bug. So it's like, here, clear-cut victory. And just keep an eye on Domino. So if you see me glance, I'm just keep an eye on the dog. So I think also this is not the order I think that these will show up in either. So that's only if the Dark type is the first gym. I don't think the Dark type would be the first gym. I think the Dark type would probably be something more basic, like, say, Bug or Rock. And I say Bug or Rock, or Grass. One of those 3, because Hawaii, very rocky, mountains, volcanoes, but it's also got very lush forests, grass, and it's got lots of fauna in terms of insects, so bugs. So that's an easy way to go right there. But Dark, let's stop right there. These are the gym types I believe are almost definitely going to be in the next game. And Bug, Grass, and Rock don't fall under that criteria at the moment. Dark, I think, is almost a guaranteed. Next one, I think, is Fire, because it honestly plays the direct opposite in this case to Dark. Not Fairy doesn't, Light doesn't. I don't think we're getting a new type. Not doing a video on the new type. There's no reason for a new type. But Fire in this case is a direct opposite. Fire equals light, equals warmth, equals rays, equals the sun. So Fire. And again, Hawaii, volcanoes, tropical region, fire, tiki guy, tiki, what is it? Fire dancers, There's a lot of stuff that goes with Hawaii that's traditionally associated with fire. Fire is very much endowed with the Hawaiian culture. So I do believe Fire would be a gym type. Fire is also one of the least used gym types he's had. We've only had 2 Fire gyms, so I think that'd be time to bring in another Fire. Next, I think because it's probably going to be at least somewhat of an island or at least a lot of water, I do believe we're going to get a water gym. Again, we haven't had a water gym since, if you want to get technical, Gen 5, but I didn't count that. Because when doing this, I didn't count the next gen game, not even the next game. Black and White 2, I didn't count for the gyms. Technically, it's the same region, but it's an alternate storyline in the same region a couple years later, so I didn't count that. So if you're gonna get on my case, fine, whatever. I didn't count that. Apart from that, though, I think we've had about 3 water gyms, and if you want to count the Black and White 2, 4 water gyms. But still, we haven't had a immense amount of water gyms, so I do believe we could see a water gym. I think that's a very likely scenario. So those are the 3 that I think are almost guaranteed at this point. Now, as I was saying, the ones that now seem likely to me are Rock, Bug, and Grass. And I say Rock, Bug, and Grass because, again, the region-wise, the reasons I said, but also because in terms of early gym types, and let's be clear, they could do something completely different with the gym style. The exception to the rule was the first gym, which I can't remember the city off the top of my head, but the first gym in Black and White, which was the multi-type. Technically, it's a multi-type gym. It all depended on what starter you picked. That was the elemental monkey you were fighting in that gym battle. So that was a unique thing. I could see them trying new stuff with that. But if we're going by the same type by type by type thing, I think Bug, Grass, and Rock might be good for starting gyms. And it doesn't necessarily have to be, again, in any sort of order. It could be like Grass, Bug, and then we move on to, say, the water, the fighting, and then a rock, and something. It could be something like that. But any one of those 3, like for the first 2 gyms, I think could work. And then we get into the 2 that I had to think on, because I'm like, 8 gyms? The other ones don't make as much sense. The one I think comes next in terms of the most likely is one of two different ones. One is Poison. And I say Poison because we only got technically 1 Poison gym. 2 if you want to count Black and White 2. So yeah, Poison is in need of some love a little bit in terms of needing a gym. But volcanoes spew noxious gas, man. Noxious gas. There's poisonous insects on the island. So there's plenty you could do with poison when you really think about it. Or at least there's a decent amount you could do with poison in terms of this. So I think poison is a possibility. Or ghosts. Ghost type, because again, Ghost type only has 1 gym. No, I take it back. It only has 2 gyms. Ghost type only has 2 gyms. And there's a lot of spirit lore in Hawaiian culture. Again, this is all assuming this is based off Hawaii. If this is not based on Hawaii, I will completely change up this video. I wouldn't take down the video. I would just do a possible gyms in Sun and Moon part 2. Or 2. Just like, okay, so this is what actually happened here. So I'm going to have to change it just a little bit. Yeah, I probably actually wouldn't be changing it that much. Honestly, if it's based off a tropical region, actually, no, I actually probably wouldn't be needing to change it. You know what? I changed my mind. I keep that list that I have. But anyway, as I was saying, yeah, ghosts, because there's a lot of spirit lore in Hawaii. There's plenty of myths for their culture. There's sea spirits, there's ocean spirits, and spirits translate into ghosts. And ghosts haven't been getting a lot of love in terms of the gyms lately. So, and in fact, they haven't been. I mean, they got a lot of love in X and Y 6th gen because of Aegislash and what was the Ghost Tree? The Ghost Pumpkin wasn't that good, but the Ghost Tree was pretty good. And Aegislash is a beast, so Steel Ghost typing, I think, surprised a lot of people how fucking good that typing was. But yeah, yeah, that's why I think it's a tie between Poison and Ghost, because I think Ghost has the more likelihood than Poison, but Poison doesn't stand a bad shot. Then the last typing, it's going to sound a little, a cop-out, but Dragon. I think dragons don't exist in Hawaiian lore as far as I know. As far as I know. I could be wrong on that. I haven't caught up on Hawaiian lore lately. I should probably maybe do that for a future video if it does turn out this is based on Hawaii. But, when I lost the dog. I think she's fine, but I'll have to look for her in just a little bit. But that being said, dragons won because dragons are cool. I think a lot of people like dragons. They are still, despite the fact fairies were introduced, they're still probably among the most powerful types there is, just in terms of single typing. And we've had 2 dragon gyms. That's 2 out of 6 generations going on 7. So I think it's time we give another dragon gym. Now let's be clear. Black and White 2, and I know I don't like Rush. I never played the games. I actually did want to pick them up after a while, but I couldn't find like a used copy or anything like that to pick up. So I'm like, oh, I missed a boat on that one. I'm certain I could find it somewhere. But Black and White 2 actually made the Dragon Gym the second to last gym, because that's when they introduced the Water Gym in that gen. But it would make sense that the Dragon Gym stays like either the final or the second to last gym, I think, because it would just make sense that way. Now, a couple other types that haven't shown up recently are Steel. Steel has only had 2 gyms. Steel could use a little love, but I don't know if that is where it belongs at the moment. If Steel really belongs in Hawaii, Hawaii is industrialized like many countries have become, but or states, and Hawaii is a state. Islands, like many areas in the world, have become industrialized. There's still a lot of forest and stuff in Hawaii that I don't think a Steel gym really makes that much sense. And ground types. Ground types only have 2. Yeah, it's 2 different gyms at the moment. Ground could substitute rock, honestly, because ground's a powerful type, but it's also a very easy to beat type when you have the need. I believe it's weak to fighting, ice, water, grass. No, right? It's strong against rock. But yeah, it's weak against 4 typings right from the get-go right there. I can name off my hand. I'm certain if I think there might be another weakness it has, or at least less resistance. So it's a strong type. It's a very offensive type, but it's also a pretty easy type to beat when you have the means. So I could see them using a ground type, but I'm going to stick with the gyms I think that will show up, and that's, again, in no particular order: Dark, Fire, Water, Dragon, Rock, Poison / Ghost, Bug, and Grass. Those are the gym types I think we might see in Sun and Moon. I could be completely wrong. I could guarantee you I'm not wrong on all of these, just because of how the last... because they do at least change it up now and then from the previous generation. Because let's look. 6th gen had a Bug. 5th gen had a Bug. 6th gen had a Rock, but 5th gen did not. Grass, it also had a Grass gym. 5th gen did not. It had Fighting. 5th gen did not. Had Fairy, obviously. It had Psychic. It had the only two gyms it shared in common with Gen 5 was the Ice and the Bug gym. And if you go back again, let's see, Rock, Grass, Fighting, Water, Ghost, Steel, Ice, Electric. And only shared 2 gym types. And if we go back from 4th to 3rd, okay, they did share Rock, they did share Fighting, they did share Electric. Wait a minute. Yeah, and they did share Water. Okay, so it shared 4 gym types. That shared more with 3rd gen than 4th did with 5th. And then it was then 3rd, because I can't do 2nd to 1st gen because that's completely different. They is literally completely different. 3rd gen went from the 3rd to 2nd. They both shared Flying. They both shared Normal. They both shared Fighting. Yeah, and that's the only ones they share. So I believe 3. So it's definitely going to share some types of the previous gen, which in this case was Bug, Rock, and Bug Rock and Grass. Other than that, though, they don't share any tights with the last generation. So I think it's very possible that we could see those gyms in the next Pokemon game. But we'll find out what happens. So I gotta go get the dog and make sure she's behaving. And now I'll see you guys next time. I'll see you tomorrow when I do box office report. I could talk about the young Han Solo casting. Yeah, something Alnreich, the guy from Hail Caesar. The cowboy got casted as the young Han Solo. I liked him. I think it's a good choice there. That's my thought on that. Anyway, thanks for watching. See you next time.